All right, next question. How old were you when you met? Tell us about when you met and your marriage and all that stuff.
We both lived down on Green Street, and Paul's younger brother Kendall was my age, who was a tear. I kind of knew of Paul, but I was like,
I don't remember much about it.
I was like
I was
5 and he was like 7. But
No, I was only 4 and 5.
Yeah, I was probably, if you were 4 or 5, I was probably 2 or 3, but I didn't know him then. But when we moved up on Wyoming Street, we lived in the same ward, and we played basketball in the church, and we were in plays together, and so we knew each other. Then Paul went on a mission, and I dated a bunch of other boys. He dated a lot of other girls.
I had one wait for me.
Yeah.
I told her no.
I almost got married.
Me too.
A couple of times,
I had
engaged.
a girl ask me to marry her. Carol Scoville. I said, no,
Paul,
going on a mission.
Paul came home from his mission, and
The highlight of my mission was getting a blessing from Thomas Spencer Monson in 1964 before I went. And then Joseph Fielding Smith told us that Jesus Christ was married to Mary Magdalene.
How long have you guys been married for?
50 years. And the funny thing was, is when Paul was on his mission, my family had moved from Wyoming Street up to Commonwealth, and so Paul didn't know where I lived. So his brother Kendall, or Keith drove him up to my house when he came up from his mission, and Paul and I went down to Sugar House Park. I drove him in my brand new 66 Ford Mustang. Drove him down to the park. We ended up going to a movie. We started dating after that, and the rest is history. 50 years later.
And we were the reason that her mom and dad went to the temple, because they didn't have time before. We told them to wait a year. So.
Yeah, my dad and mother had not gone through the temple, and that was my mother's greatest wish. And so we told them we would wait a year if they would go through the temple. And they did. Paul witnessed their marriage. He witnessed me taking out my endowments. And then we got married in the temple.
How old were you when you got married?
I was 22. You were 20.
I was 20. You were 22. I must have been 21.
I was older than that. I was 24.
You were 24.
24.
I was 23.
What advice can you give about marriage?
I got married by Bruce Reed McConkie.
Yeah, Bruce R. McConkie married us.
But he was a mission president in Southern Australia when I was in Australia. And my president was Morgan Coombs, who was the bishop of the Parleys ward on the corner of 21st South, and that where it goes around the corner down into the gully.
Okay.
He was a good guy. My favorite baptism was Thomas Paine. Him and Margaret came over in 2006 before Mom died and stayed with her. We took him to Salt Air and the Conference Center and to Emma's game and dinner with you guys to Buca de Beppo, and they loved it.
Okay, got it.